So happy Tuesday, everyone. So I have not been painting as much as I would like to lately. I have a new passion. It's called gardening. I'm so excited about it. This is a new plant that I planted this spring. It's called Salvia. And the colors weren't quite what I was looking for, but I did a little demo for watercolor and I'm going to show you that. We're going to talk a little bit more, so stick around. So before we dive in, I just wanted to take a second and thank you for watching my channel. Make sure to click the like button if you enjoy the video and subscribe to keep up with my weekly uploads. If you want to learn more about how to paint, please consider taking a class with me on my website at www.kelliechasseffineart.com. That helps support me and this channel so that I can continue to make new videos for you every week. And you can check out my member freebies, Art Exploration for 2020 on the website as well. So good morning, my friends. I hope you are all doing well. My apologies for not being here on Tuesdays recently. We've been just busy at the lake, boating, summer fun, and gardening, as I had mentioned. So today I just went ahead and I picked a little bit of my salvia and thought I would give you a little demo with watercolor today. So I am using my little Cotman kit. Now I mentioned at the very beginning that I wasn't really happy with the color purple for this one. I do not have a lot of my ultramarine blue left. As you can see, I've got to fill that up. So I'm working with that and the red that comes in the Cotman kit along with the intense blue that's in here. And it's a pretty purple, but it's very muted. It's not that bright, vibrant purple that I like, that real bright color. So I noticed that once this dried the next day, and I'll show you at the end here, it really is more this color, that's how I kind of see it, I guess, because I've always had it dried. I do that with lavender and stuff too. So I'm just gonna take my squirrel brush, and it's got a great little tip on this. I love these little brushes for those little fine little points, and it holds a lot of water and a lot of color, so you can go a long way with it. So I'm just using the very tip of that brush. Now this is not a very realistic looking painting. It's more of just the idea of flowers, not going into detail. So if you look at them really close up and you want to blow them up, you can get a lot of really fine details. But for this one, we're just going to do a very light and airy looking salvia. And I think it's salvia. I think that's what this is. If it's not, correct me if I'm wrong. Because like I said, I'm new to plants. I've never had a green thumb. And we have a lot of sun here, but we have a lot of trees. So I'm trying to, most of my plants are shade plants like hostas and things like that. So I'm really trying to pick other flowers that have more color. So if you have some ideas of, especially in the Northeast, if you're up this way, what flowers I can plant in the shade that have color. I've got some lupins now. I've got echinacea that just came up. That was a little surprise. I didn't know what that one was. I guess they call them a coneflower. I've got lilies. I've got some lavender. I'm getting there. They're just little bunches, though, so hopefully they'll get bigger next year. So again, I'm just starting with back to the flower that I'm painting. Just starting with the purple and just popping in that color. And I will mix up a little bit of some more with more blue and a little bit with more red, just to get a couple of variances in color. You can see my little rainbow that's showing. Sometimes, depending on what time of day I'm painting, you'll see this rainbow a lot because it's actually right in my window. I have a little crystal and it shines right on my desk. It looks pretty, I think. So I'm going into the green now. This is sap green, and just placing a little bit of stem in there. I'm trying not to do too much because it's still wet, so I don't want that to bloom. Now the stem on this is actually like a really beautiful green silvery color. And I thought about grabbing my iridescent paints, maybe trying this again later to give that little bit of gray tint, little sheen to it, because they're very soft and fluffy looking, feathery, which is neat when you look at them close up. I just couldn't quite capture that with what I had here. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue. That's way too much. Let's see if we can soften that a little bit. A little bit of yellow. That's the lemon yellow and sap green I'm mixing. And then just get a little tinge of that blue in here. Now it's like a blue-green, like a viridian color. There we go. Just dotting a little bit. Again, it's wet, so it's just popping in just another little shade of color in there. And then you can see there's some of these little buds on here. They're green. They're not, I don't know if they're going to be flowers and I picked it too soon, or if they've already passed, or if that's just part of the flower. I'm gonna learn my flower anatomy. Actually, did you guys watch Alone, the show Alone, where they're like 10 people are on an island and they have to survive by themselves? Well, I just actually picked up the book that Nicole from season 2, who shared all the plants and all the medicinal things that you can do with it. I'll show you a copy of it here. So I got this off of Amazon, so I'm like going through and learning all these different plants and what they're good for. So next year, I think I'm going to have a little bit more herbs too. Exciting. So yes, I'm learning more about plants. I looked up the Salvia on page 130. It's actually sage. And it says there's very many different variety of sage, and many of them have medicinal properties. As it grows approximately 2 feet tall. Holy cow, I'm going to have to move that one. It's a little bit too big. And it's used obviously in cooking. Sage is used in cooking, we know that. But for medicinal purposes, it says it's an antiseptic, which is really cool. It helps improve memory, lowers glucose levels, and alleviates menopause symptoms. I knew I planted that for a reason. Oh my goodness. It's an excellent all-around herb, it says. So cool. Also works for digestion, helps with sore throat, speeds healing of wounds, and helps with hair growth. See, all this cool stuff that you learn in this book. So if you're curious, like me, I'll leave that Amazon link down below for you guys. You can check it out. And if you've watched Alone, let me know what you thought of it. I think it's a great show. We've watched season 1 and season 2 so far, and I won't give you any spoilers in case you haven't seen it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of those little buds in there and continue to put a little bit more detail. I'm trying not to overdo it. I want this pretty simple. But maybe I'll add just a little bit more of that alizarin crimson to that shade of purple, just so we can have a couple other colors in here. You know how I love to have multiple colors. Having a solid color with watercolor just doesn't really do anything. It makes it look very flat. So by adding some of those other shades, either darker values or lighter values in areas, it really makes things kind of pop off the page for you a little bit more. And the key to that is you can either do it wet and wet and let it just kind of move into some of those other areas, but you have to be careful because it can just take over. If it's really wet, you'll end up in another solid color. So I usually wait just a few, little seconds, minutes, depending on how much paint's on there, how much water's on there, how dry it is, how hot it is, how much humidity's in the air. There's a lot of factors with that. And then I can go back in and add some of those other colors to it. So we have a couple other little shades in there. They're pretty. It's so just romantic looking to me. Makes me want to go cook something now with some sage. So the inside of those flowers, before they actually dry up, have that little stamen in there. You can see it in the close-up here. So I'm just going to take the tip of that brush and just put a few of those in just a couple of the flowers, so it looks like they're open. Just a couple little lines here and there going different directions. As you can see, the flowers are all in different positions here. And then we'll add just a couple more colors of the green, some more values in there, and I think we'll be finished with this one. What do you think? So if you're a beginner for watercolor, the Cotman kit is wonderful. The only thing I have to say about the Cotman kit is it does not have a really great vibrant purple. So I played with my Winsor & Newton pan kit that's the artist quality ones, and they have a couple other colors in there. Well, actually, they have a lot more colors in there, and they're highly pigmented. So these are a few of the other colors I came up with, but my favorite one for this, if I were to do it again, would be to use the Winsor & Newton Artist Quality French Ultra and the Violet. Violet Windsor. Now, Violet Windsor is a beautiful color of purple, but adding a little bit of that French Ultra to it just really makes it pop. It's a really pretty color. So here are those two. I pulled them out of the pan. You can see the shade that it makes. So it's a really vibrant compared to some of the other colors that we have. So yeah, Windsor Violet and French Ultra. I'll give you a picture of those two that I used, or I will use on the next go around, I think, because I just love the color. Okay, so that's a wrap for this Tuesday. We will see you guys next week. Please make sure to click that like button if you enjoyed the tutorial. The YouTube algorithms are just so strange now, so make sure you click that notification bell and you'll be sure to see the next video. Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.